They always say the cars closest to your heart are the ones you had on your bedroom wall as a teenager. For me, these are exactly that. This is the era that produced the best drivers' cars, and these are our top three. The Ferrari 430 Scuderia, Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, and Porsche 997 GT3RS. Since these cars were released back in 2007, their successors have all had much more power, improved handling, better efficiency and more tech, but have they also lost something in the process? This was a time just before the takeover of technology, ever tightening emissions regulations, and the flippers market pretty much didn't exist. They're uncompromising cars built purely for the driver, and today we're going to drive all three of them back to back. So we're starting with the German, the Porsche 997 GT3RS. It's the least powerful of the group, 3.6 litre flat six, which you can hear in the background, 415 horsepower. I thought we'd start with this one because it's the only manual of the group, the only one with 3 pedals. And in today's time where everything fast has paddles, it just makes it feel so special. It's such a good manual as well. You've got to really put some effort into it. The clutch is heavy, the shift's heavy. It's just rewarding when you get it right. And the handling, it's unbelievably flat. Even compared to a normal GT3, you can feel the difference on the road. The turning is so keen. And you hear the journos say it all the time. The feel through this, the steering wheel. Hydraulic power steering, you feel every little thing that's going on underneath you. This is the Metzger engine you don't get in the new GT3s. It's quite chuntery at low speeds, it just feels properly motorsport. It's torquey all the way through, but at the top end, it screams. The brakes, the carbon ceramics, they're sharp, and really it just all comes together into such a rewarding package. It's something you want to just get in and just attack a road. So much confidence straight away. Literally the only downside is how low it is. We struggle to get it out of the car park back there without a lift system. Oh, what a special car though. It's one of those cars when you get the weight balance right through a corner, get your heel and toe right, get your upshift bang on. Yeah. I think it's the generation for me. Over any other GT3, I think this is the one. Right, car number 2, Ferrari 430 Scuderia. We've gone up 2 cylinders to a 4.3 litre V8, 510 horsepower. We've lost the clutch pedal because this has got Ferrari's F1 gearbox, but it is so far removed from every other single clutch gearbox at the time. In race mode, the flat upshifts. So quick and brutal. You don't need a double clutch. And you might be able to hear from the way I'm shouting, let's try and settle it down a little bit again, that if you think a GT3RS is raw, this is a whole other thing. It is so loud in here. The noise is ridiculous. The owner of this car has the valves on a little switch, so they're open all the time. It's full noise. Any revs. Oh my god. It just feels so racy. It's quite lively on its feet compared to the RS, which was really tied down. This is sort of fidgeting around the road. It's a different kind of driving experience. There's more theatre to it. God, it's an angry car, this. Again though, just like the RS, the steering, it's got a nice weight to it. Turning is sharp. And both of them feel light. You know, compared to a lot of modern cars, they are quite basic in here. It's quite sparse. You can see the welds in the footwell. It's raw, it's so raw. And it's special. Now, having driven all of the special V8 Ferraris, I always come back to the Scud as my favourite, and I think it's because it blends sort of modern day performance and a quick shifting gearbox with that old fashioned noise and rawness. You know, I love the challenge Stradale, but the gearbox for me just lets it down. This car is just... it's obnoxious in all the very best ways. I absolutely love it. I don't get quite the same confidence from the brakes I did from the RS, but they're still seriously good. I think they're still better than most ceramics from 2007. And I keep coming back to this gearbox. You know, for the time, for 12 years ago, I don't think Lamborghini have got single clutch boxes this right, even now. The RS is the one you take to the track, or if you're really looking to accurately carve through a road. But I think if you just want to really properly let loose on a Sunday morning, probably upset a few people along the way, this is mega. Okay, the final car, the Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera. We've gained another 2 cylinders, this time a 5-litre V10. This was the last of the 3 to be released. It's the most powerful. It's the only one with 4-wheel drive, so you can put the power down anywhere. And this is the brute of the 3. You get thrown around a lot more than in the other 2. It's got a single clutch gearbox just like the Scud, but this one feels 12 years old. This one is more clunky. Maybe not as clunky as you might think though. You can work with it. Now the brakes, these do kind of feel like early ceramics. There's nothing, and then they bite. They need some heat in them because I can feel them getting better as we go along. What impresses me more than most Lambos from this era is the handling, the turning, just like the other 2, is great. It's so sure-footed. Quick steering for the time as well. And it really just encourages you to press on. Gives you a lot of confidence. Now on the outside, the V10 doesn't sound like the newer V10s. It's more of a shrill. It sounds really special. This is definitely the brute. But while this is the brute, if you think it can't handle, I expected it to maybe be a little wayward compared to the other 2, but God, the way it turns in is brilliant. Oh my God, the downshifts. Let's see if we get some more noise with the windows down. God, the gear shifts are brutal. Yeah, you just need to drop the windows. Right, let's try a downshift. There it is. It's probably the most flawed of the 3 in terms of its gearbox and those brakes until you get a bit of heat in them, but it has still surprised me by just how capable it is and how enjoyable it is on a road like this. A little lift helps with the gearbox. Just pull off the throttle a little when you change up and that just smooths it out a bit. Oh, the downshifts. Oh man, what a funny car. For me, these cars all have something about them that modern cars lack. They're still fast, but usably so. They're not so fast that you can't use the performance when you hit a clear stretch of road. But performance isn't why you buy these cars anymore. Their current counterparts have much more in that respect. You buy them because of their rawness, the connection you get with them as a driver, and the challenge of getting the best from them. They also look like remarkable value compared to supercars of today too, especially when they're all pretty rare. The Scuderia is the most expensive, around £200,000, the GT3RS around £120,000, but the real bargain is the Superleggera, with a few examples floating around at less than £100,000. Driving each car back to back made it clear that these are 3 very different characters, so it really comes down to what you want from a car, or maybe even brand loyalty. The Porsche is the precision instrument, the one you take to the track or to neatly carve your way through a tight and twisty road,
And of course, it's the only choice if you want 3 pedals. The Ferrari is the hooligan, the one that screams the loudest and moves around underneath you, always keeping you on your toes when you fancy a wild ride. The Lambo is the sledgehammer. It punches you in the back with its thunderous V10 and aggressive gearbox, and its 4-wheel drive system keeps things rock solid through the corners too. Honestly, you could quite happily have all 3 of these cars to suit your mood on any particular day, and you could almost buy all 3 for the price of a 488 Pista on the used market. If you forced me to pick one, I think it'd have to be the Ferrari because it is just unhinged. Ask me again tomorrow and I may well take the RS, but for today, I'll stick with the Scud. That's my verdict, but which one would you take from these 3 and why? Let us know in the comments below.